My name is Robert LeBron, or Lebron in Spanish, Puerto Rican from the South Bronx. I am 38 years old. I'm going to be 39 in June 7th. I grew up in the South Bronx. My mom raised me, single parent. I have a younger sister by a year, so she and I grew up together. My mom, kind of did drugs, you know what I mean? So my grandmother ended up kind of helping out a lot. But I was an only boy, no brothers, no cousin boys, no uncles, and my father went to jail when I was born. So I had a pretty good childhood. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the ordinary, but it was lonely for a boy. I graduated from University High School in '96, and by then I had my first child. At 19, I had 2 kids, and then at 22, I had 3 kids. And I'm thinking, should I go to college? How am I gonna take care of kids while I'm in college? So what I decided to do was take some research into the military. It was adventure, travel, and the benefits. And in order to get the most benefits, you have to join for the most amount of years. Normally people would sign up for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I signed for 6. So a kid from the South Bronx joined the military and ended up going to Oklahoma for basic training. I was 23 years old with 3 children, and it was not easy. I had orders to go to Fort Bragg, but then a week before school finished, they sent me to what's called the 75th Ranger Regiment. And it's part of the most elite unit in the world. Remember, I graduated top this, top that, top that. So the government is like, oh, you want to be top? We'll give you top. You know what I'm saying? It was intense. It was physically demanding, mentally draining, and spiritually just wrenches your soul. It wrenches your soul. It changes you as a person. In September, we just got back from a 2-week training in North Carolina. I was cleaning my weapon in my room, and all I hear is a bunch of loud noise in the hallway, and we hear screaming. And we turn on the TV, and as soon as we turn on the TV, the second plane hit live the World Trade Center. And all you hear is people screaming, the white guys mostly. Oh, we going to war. Woo, we're gonna kill some motherfuckers. So that's when I knew I was going to war. So my son's mother, who was back in New York, I said, you're coming up here, we gotta go to war. So we brought her up here, and in October of 2001, we got married. And we had a son prior to that, so he was like 3 years old. So I spent, a little bit of time right after 9/11, I got shipped to Afghanistan. And that was tough, not knowing if you're gonna come back. I knew what I was a part of. I knew how hard they worked. I knew how intense the fighting is because we trained just like we fought, day and night for weeks. And then to do it for real, this was the scariest part for me. One mission, we went out, I'll never forget it, was March 4th, 2002. And 3 of my friends got killed on that night. And these are people that we used to play games with. They used to throw rocks at me. Wake up. We spent years together, like 2 years. Imagine you with your brother, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not there no more. So that affected me a lot. Like, it brings you to a position in your life where you feel like you have to value life more. But they're asking us to take life. A few months after, we don't do years, we do like 6-9 months, and then we come home, then they rotate. I drove from Savannah, Georgia, up to New York with my wife and my son, and we spent 2 weeks on vacation. We got back 2 weeks later. We're driving back down, and we get into a car accident. One state away from where I'm supposed to be, South Carolina, and my wife passed away. And she was 6 months pregnant, and they couldn't save the baby. That was the worst thing that has ever happened to me. The worst. The Rangers were very gracious to me. They said, you have two options. You can get out of the military, or we can send you on a compassionate reassignment. So they sent me to West Point, the United States Military Academy. I went from the hardest job that you can ever do in the military to the easiest, most laid-back job you could have. I was the colonel's personal driver for 4.5 years. I lived in a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-floor house with a basement, front porch, backyard, and my children are happy. And at the end of the 4.5 years, they gave me an option. You can go to Hawaii and live in Hawaii for 2 years, leave your son with his aunt, or you can get out. So I chose my son over my career. I left the military and moved back to the Bronx, and my son was living with me after a while, and he eventually got a girlfriend and tried to move her into my apartment, and I said no. She left, then he left. It's been a year since I spoke to my son, and I miss him. But he's a man, not a little boy. So now, taking care of him. And really happy. This stuff is like a dream come true to me, to be here. I'm finally happy with myself, being alone, being free from stress, doing what I want to do, and helping those who help me. And I've met so many wonderful people. And I took a 4-week editing course here. The government paid for it, and they paid me to go here. So, you know, I have PTSD as a veteran, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And I put in a claim for compensation to the government, and I get paid monthly to help me. I see a psychiatrist, I see a therapist, I take medication. And that's where why I'm at the point where I'm at now, because I can finally manage my symptoms and not be moody and angry and sad and depressed. Now I'm even. I'm who I was before I joined the military. They broke me down as a person and changed me into something like a robot. And what I had to do was, on my own, break that robot down and change who I was back to that little boy. Why? But now I'm taking an 8-week acting course at NIFA, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's fun. It's what I really like to do. I'm imaginative, I'm creative, and I feel like it's what I was meant to do. So, you're right.